Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video. And over the last couple of weeks, we've been getting a lot of reveals and news for the One Piece card game, and I want to just kind of condense it all into this video here. So we're going to focus on the new cards coming from PRB02, which is coming out later this year, as well as the new leaders revealed for OP13. Currently, we have 5 of the 6 of them, but I'll make sure to add it to the site when we get the 6th one. And then also a restriction list prediction, since there has been an announcement that we are getting a restriction list in the next couple weeks too. So we don't know exactly the date for that yet or anything outside of they're announcing one, but I do want to just kind of consider cards that I would consider hit on that list as well. But if you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe. We make a lot of One Piece content and I don't want you guys to miss it. If you guys want to look at any of the cards we're talking about today, you can check it out on my deck builder at deckbuilder.eggmanevents.com, which is linked to the description. And then also I do want to just say I do apologize. I've been a little bit distracted from Gundam content for the last couple weeks, but also I am really committed to the One Piece card game. This has probably been like the slowest kind of week for this game, just because there's not like really like big official events and there's not like, you know, the meta's kind of been kind of solved for a little bit. So I do just want to let you guys know that I am committed to this game. We're still supporting it, but I hope you guys understand why we're also looking at some Gundam stuff as well. But jumping into this video for PRB2, each color is getting 3 new cards with 2 rares and 1 super rare, which is pretty nice. I think this is like a cool way to introduce new cards, as well as you know, selling. Like the PRBs has always been like a really good product, and so I don't think like adding new cards at like this kind of rarity is going to be like hurtful for what the product's going to look like. It's going to be a good balance of like old reprints as well as adding some new cards to the game as well. So looking through them real quick. Also, I just think in general, all of these cards look really good. They all have like a specific archetype that they're kind of targeting to try to upgrade, and I think that's something that's really cool for kind of how this, you know, deck works and how these kind you know, cards work as well. So anyways, we're going to look at the red ones first. We've got Kobe here. So opponent's turn, if your leader has the Navy type, this character gains plus 1000 power, so this will be a 6k on the defense, and when attacking, KO to one of your opponent's characters with a base of 3000 power or less. Then if you have 6 or less cards in your hand, you get to draw 1. So this obviously is for the Kobe leader, and the fact that you will be able to attack the turn that is played, since the Kobe leader does give you that effect here, right? Once per turn, if your sword type characters can attack characters on the turn that they are played, so that's helpful with that in general. So kind of helps what this works, gets some like reduction as well, and you get protection with it off your own effect too. The draw is really nice too. I think that's like one of the few things with Kobe. It's really easy to be at 6 or less cards in hand, so I think that's fine. And then also, like, unironically, like this is just like a solid card in just any like red deck too. Like even if you just play this for 4, this is a 6000 power as long as you're a Navy type, even if you're just a 5k, and then you can just draw a card from attacking, right? It doesn't matter like how it works, right? Is you just draw one. You don't even have to KO something with 3k power less. You can just play it and then you can draw it afterwards. So I think that's something that could be like maybe overlooked a little bit. Card draws a pretty big premium in this game since we don't get as much of it, and so that could be something that just makes this like a generically good red card as well. So there it is. Next up, we got Trafalgar Law, and this one's I think is pretty exciting. So once per turn, if this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may give this minus 2000 power during this turn instead. And then additionally, when attacking, give it to one of your opponent's characters minus 2000 power during this turn. So kind of what this means is, one, it has like the same protection as like the Ace that we got from the star deck from Whitebeard last year, but the fact that also the attacking effect is good. The fact that it also has the Punk Hazard tag means that we can play it in Caesar Clown, right? That's some good support, but it also kind of means that in specifically Smoker, you can find it off Virgo, right? Virgo lets you look for a Punk Hazard type character, which is now law, so that is really, really strong, I think, for this deck in particular. Being able to give stuff the minus 2000 power means that you can get some like bigger removal on cards like Gum Gum Mulgun, which I know a lot of people are already playing as well. And it just looks like an exciting card. The fact that it's also a 7k means that in Smoker you can play it for 6, so you get your 2 Dawn back inherently because it's already a base 7k. And then your opponent not being able to really remove this when it's active means you can get some really good trades afterwards too. So really excited about this card. I think this card's going to be really good in like any like kind of red control decks. I think it's going to be good specifically in Smoker, and it's going to be in a good spot. So there it is. Next up, we've got Lucky Roo. So this is for Shanks, blocker. On play, you may trash one character, one character card with 6k power or more from your hand. You get to draw 2, but honestly, this card's just generically good as well. Like all of these kind of have like the archetypes that they kind of want to go for, but the fact that you get to trash and draw 2 is really good. I don't know, like one thing though, one weird thing, right? Like we have like Nami, right? The purple Nami. It's almost the exact same card. It has like the kind of the effect. It has to have 8 or more Dawn, right? But then it's kind of the thing, right? So it's kind of like an analog for this card, which I think that having like more generic cards that are based off like the colors that they represent is really cool. So I do think that specifically Shanks will have like no issue getting, you know, a base card of 6,000 power or more. Like usually you lose the game because you see too many of them, but a draw 2 is good. I'm not sure if it's better than like playing the actual 4-drop Lucky Roo from the set on curve as well, but the fact that this is just like good late game to establish a blocker as well as drawing some cards that you wouldn't have otherwise, I think is in a good spot. So I think it's a great card for, again, like generically there's a lot of decks that just could be running this because the trashing a character is like really generic for some kind of like mid to late game red decks. So there it is. Next up, let's look at the green cards, and we got Jewelry Bonnie. So it's a 3-drop 3k Supernovas blocker. On opponent's attack, once per turn, you get to set up to one of your Dawn cards as active. So it's kind of like a different version of Urouge. I think Urouge getting the Dawn back inherently is better for what it is, but you do also get the ability to play this off 8-drop Kid, so that's super solid in its own way as well. You know, but if you get to remove it before you attack with it, it means you don't get that Dawn back, so it can be a little bit dangerous to kind of shut off the Dawn for the turn. But also, like if you're just playing on odd curve, like there, you know, I've seen so many Bonnie players just be like, well, I guess my answer right now is to simply just attack 8k to leader, being able to say, you know, I'm going to attack 5k, I'll put this Bonnie out here, and then if you don't answer it, I get that kind of Dawn back every turn. So I think it's a solid card. I think it's definitely worth being played in Bonnie, and there could also be some future green leaders that would appreciate this effect too. So there it is. Next up, we've got Monkey D. Luffy. So this is kind of like one of the weirder cards for this deck, just because of how it's worded and how what it does and everything. But it's your turn on play if your leader is a multicolored leader and your opponent has 7 or more Dawn cards on their field. Rest up to one of your opponent's Dawn cards at the start of your opponent's next main phase. So it's interesting. You prevent your opponent from like getting like, you know, full 10 Dawn a lot of the time, right? So it's kind of like a Bonnie stun in a lot of ways. So I think that is interesting. It does have the Supernovas type and the Straw Hat Crew type. So simply having the Supernovas type is really good. There are also some times where you can you know, let your opponent, like one, just being able to like deny a 10 drop is really good. So that we've been seeing that, I think, quite a bit as well. And then also, like, there are some times like you can prevent your opponent, like if you play it specifically on your 7, right? And then you prevent them from playing their 9, right? This can really deny like a Sanji play too. So it's an interesting card. It feels like it's like kind of off color, right? Because like purple would like deramp you, and like so green like stunning a Dawn or like resting a Dawn early, I think is interesting. But this also like is a really good card for like green purple Luffy, obviously, because it's a green Straw Hat card too. But the way that it works is like a really like particular, right? It's either in like some decks like this does nothing because they don't really care about that extra Dawn, or it's just like a weird card. But I could see some like really good benefits for it. It's just, again, an interesting one. So there it is. And then to finish off green, we've got Zoro. So this is opponent's turn. If this character would be rested by an opponent's effect, you may rest one of your other characters instead. And it's a blocker, and it's a 2k, right? There has been, I think most colors are getting just like these really generically good blocker 2Ks, and I think this is one for green. This also is Supernovas type, which is just insane for like Bonnie, and just Supernovas has been always one of the best tags to have in green. Also has Straw Hat Crew. There is also a new Zoro leader in OP12 that would obviously take advantage of this too. So it's a solid card. So this card does have blocker. I know it's weird to see that like the bottom of the character effect, but it is a blocker card, so it does help you you know, get that, you know, a way to have a blocker. And then if you have any active cards, like you can just say like this card is can't be blocked. And it's not once per turn either. So you could have like, you know, 4 or 5 active cards, and then you can get this blocker, and then that's super nice. So I think it's a great 2K, and a lot of decks are going to be using it. So there it is there. All right, moving on to blue, we've got, I would say, our replacement Jinbei from the Jinbei that got banned earlier this year. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to one of the 7 Warlords of the Sea type character other than Jinbei added to your hand, then place the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. When attacking, place up to one character with the cost of 1 or less at the bottom of its owner's deck. So it's not and when I said maybe like replacement Jinbei, I mean like it's another Jinbei, but this can be used for obviously Doflamingo as well as the Boa. I think it's going to be like slightly better in Boa in particular, but being able to have like a searcher for 7 Warlords, the fact that the one attacking effect can proc your activations for specifically like your Boa leader is good. Also, like if blue black ever, like if Sakazuki becomes unbanned, this card is broken, right? You can use this to attack, and like you get the reduction, you get to bottom deck a 2 or less or something like that. But jokes aside, I think this card is pretty good. I don't know if like the Seven Warlords of the Sea, if its time has come and gone with being relevant in this game right now, but I think this is a solid card to help it. Just get like some more card draw. Like you obviously would not be upset to see this played off the top of your deck from Doflamingo, because that deck is needing to draw cards is really really good. So anyways, here is the Jinbei there, and then next up you've got Marco, and oh boy, do you know that I'm excited about this card. So 4-drop 6k blocker on KO, you get to draw 2 cards. Also, it's a Land of Wano card. It's a former Whitebeard Pirates, which is a little bit unfortunate that it is not a Whitebeard Pirates, but we will take what we can get. This card just looks really insane. I think there's a lot of blue decks that this is just a really good blocker, and then you get to draw 2 on KO, and there are ways to like get some better sequencing with it too. So and there might be a leader that we're going to talk about in a minute that just really takes advantage of this card. So not much more to say. You guys know that I like playing red and blue Marco, and that this card can go really well with it, having like a good blocker with it. Obviously there are ways to interact with it by like not KOing it, returning it to hand, or just ignoring it. But even if this card like didn't have blocker, I think this card would actually be kind of playable and good in its own way. So here is the card there, and yeah, I think this is going to be one of the better ones for sure. And then lastly, we've got Mr. 3. So this is for Buggy. When this character is rested by an opponent's effect, you may activate this effect. You get to trash this character, draw 2 cards, and then again it has blocker, which again is like at the bottom of the character effect. Like this is how it is in Japanese as well, but it's just really interesting. That's how they layered these card effects for it. So but it's I think worse than Zoro, right? But it's a cheaper blocker, but like it's only really good against specifically green. So I think this card's like kind of just okay, because again it's only like green, and I guess purple like gets some resting, right? But not every color like rests for you. Like having like a 2-drop blocker is fine, but I think that there might have been like, if this character be rested or removed from the board, right, you get to use this effect, it would be infinitely more playable. But it's still fine. It's just like not as, I think, good as it could be. So it also is not leader locked to Buggy, right? It's just supposed to be like another card that the deck can play, but I think it's fine. It's just not as you still can interact with it, and you just get like a cheap blocker out of the way. But there it is. All right, next up we've got purple. So we've got Charlotte Pudding. On play, Dawn -2 if your leader has Big Mom Pirates type and your opponent has 6 or more Dawn on their field. Draw 2 cards, which is already insane. And then you may play up to 1 Big Mom Pirates type character with a power of 6 to 8 K from your hand. So the clear good one from that one is the Katakuri, right? Being able to use that card to get we know this card is good, right? The fact that this card is really really good in like a lot of good decks, right? The fact that we do have to have Big Mom Pirates in our leader type, but the fact that we get to draw 2 cards, we get to play the card out, we get to ramp afterwards, so it's only like Dawn -1, right? That's most people would do that trade, especially since like you get to play the card earlier at 7 Dawn instead of 8 Dawn, and having to wait for it and just having like another body on the board. So if Katakuri is going to be good, this card can be really good, but this also could be used in like the Pudding leader itself, which can be solid. And draw 2 is good. I don't know who needs to know that, but draw 2 is really good in this game. So playing at a body that draws 2 and plays like cheats out a big character, like it's kind of like a fair, like it's an archetype specific Gecko Moria for specifically purple Katakuri, a deck that I think needed a little bit more oomph for its gameplay. So I think that card can be really really good. Next up we got Doflamingo, and I don't know how I feel about this card. They just gave it like such a, like you read this card like, oh cool, like you have officially made like support for blue purple Luffy, right? On play, if your leader's multicolor, add to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck rested. It's a blocker, it's a Doflamingo pirate, right? Like there are just like so many, like they could have like restricted it to Doflamingo pirates, but they're like, nah, blue purple Luffy can take this. So like 8-drop Dofi can play this Dofi. Actually, let me make sure that it's not like non-Doflamingo character cards, right? No, okay. Any Don Quixote Pirates cost 5 less. All right, just double checking, because they sometimes do that. But you get to play out a blocker, and then you get to recur the Dawn that you use to play it, because you get the Dawn back rested, and then you can still use your ramp effect for it. So like the card is good. And the fact that like you can just generically ramp on 5, you go from 5 to 6, and then you start the turn on 8. Pretty good for blue purple Luffy and a lot of other decks that want to be at 8, especially because you could play this card and then again with other decks you just play 8-drop Dofi from it. So generically good card. It's for multicolor leaders, which again, most purple leaders that are good right now are multicolored. And I do like the Doflamingo package though, so it's cool to have like this card for the deck specifically, and we'll see if that kind of package becomes more popular because I think that's helpful. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for purple Luffy, just the mono one, because I know that a lot of people were trying that package in it, but still like a good card, I think, in the decks. Like, so green, purple, red, purple, sugar, and then obviously blue, purple Luffy using this package can take advantage of this card. Next up, we got Nami. I don't know why they felt like they needed to print this card, but it's another Searcher Nami. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to one Straw Hat Crew type character other than Nami and place it. Then place the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. And then the trigger for this card is to simply play it. So it's good, right? Like it's just good, right? Like people are playing Law, and you're like, man, I wish Law could find Gum Gum Giant, and they're like, don't worry, we'll get you covered. We'll just play this Nami instead, and then we get that advantage, right? Being 2 costs instead of 1 does make it like a little bit, rougher to play, but green purple Luffy will play this. I think there's some chances that, like, worst case, like blue purple Luffy could play this if you really want to. It helps you find your Sanji in like half your deck as well. And I think like it's just the fact that it's really generic is really, really strong. So I think that's really good for the deck too. All right, we've got 2 colors left. We're going to go to Gecko Moria. So this is an on-play if your leader has the Thriller Barks type. Play up to 1 character the cost of 4 or less from your trash rested, then give it to 1 rested Dawn to your leader card. So obviously this is a really good card for the Gecko Moria leader, but this also can be really good for Perona as well, because we do have some good 4-drops we want to play from that, and it's not color restricted either. But being able to get that, and then you can I think like the main thing that this card can be really good is that with the original 8-drop Gecko Moria, like you could play the card, but you couldn't play Gecko Moria and use your leader effect in the same turn, right? This will let you, like, obviously as a 6 cost you could already, but the fact that you get that additional bonus to help you get there, I think is really great. Being able to play out 2 bodies, and it's from the trash rested, right? So I think this obviously is like a more fair version and color restricted version, or like archetype restricted version of 8-drop Moria anyways. It'll be curious to know if this is like enough to make the deck relevant again, but it is like really great at like recurring resources, and this one like being able to again let you use your leader effect as well as play this card. So for 1 card, or technically this card and like any 1 card in your hand, you can develop a board of like 3 pretty sizable units for only like 8 Dawn, and being able to get your leader attack in. So I think that's something that's really fair to make this deck kind of good in the future. So I think this could be great. And Perona obviously can get some combos with it too. Ryuma is like a really great card to play off of it, and you can rest something, play this Moria, rest something, or sorry, KO something with Ryuma, get a 6k attack. Like that's still also really good. I think could be helpful for this deck too. So there it is. Next up, we've got the Sabo. So again, kind of in this line of like all these decks having like generically good 2k blockers. This is the one for black. So if you have 15 or more cards in your trash, give this character minus 3k cost in your hand, and then just has blockers. So I could see this like be used in a lot of different decks that just fill up your trash. The fact that it is a 6 cost Sabo is a little bit unfortunate, because it does mean that you can't use it for like the black and yellow Luffy, and the fact that it also can't be used for like, I don't think 1-drop Garp can find it, because Garp is only like a 5 or less search for Sabo. Yes, 5 or less. So it's not searchable off those cards, but it is a Dressrosa type. It is a Revolution Army type, so I think those are like relevant in their own cases. Maybe not the best typing for searches, but having Dressrosa and Revolution Army is good, because not every Sabo has Dressrosa, so that can be helpful. Obviously, like blue and black Rebecca is really good at putting cards into the trash. Usopp not as much, so it might be a little bit costly for it, but just a really generic blocker that worst case a 2k. And again, I really do think it's cool that all these colors are having like these flexible 2ks that are able to do both. So there it is. And then to wrap up black, we do have the Shiryu. So this is to help out the Martial D Teach. So if your leader has Blackbeard Pirate type, this character gains blocker and +4 cost. And then on KO, if your leader has the Blackbeard Pirates type, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a base cost of 4 or less. So honestly, I think this is a really good blocker. The fact that this is an 8 cost blocker means that a lot of decks just have a tough time interacting with it. Red will still be able to get the removal for it, but being able to go for 1 for 1 I think is something that really helps this deck, right? There have been like so many like kind of blockers that exist for Teach, but there hasn't been like any that are like supremely good, right? We've got like the new Kuzan from the Star deck, right? We've had like the 2-drop blockers, but none of them have really like felt good as a blocker for it. So here's another try for it. Maybe this one's going to be a little bit better, and it's going to be interesting. I think Teach can still survive, and this is a really good support card for it. So lastly, we've got yellow, and so we got Otama. Activate main, you can rest this character and add up to 1 card from the top of your bottom to your life to your hand. Up to one of your leaders or characters gains plus 3k power during this turn. So I think this is really good for obviously Yamato, right? Being able to use the effect to like Yamato is like looking for ways to use 2 of their Dawn to be able to attach them later to something, right? So this Otama really fits that sweet spot. Also, I really think that this card could be good in blue and yellow Nami. I know I talk about that deck a lot, but I really want to make a Wano package of it. It's going to be so good. I promise. I promise it's going to be great. It's probably just going to be mid, but I think like Otama could really work in that as well. And also has a trigger of rest up to one of your opponent's characters, the cost of 4 or less, and it's a 2k. This card is just generically good. Otamas have been generally pretty good in this game, and this one is no exception. So there it is. We also have Boa. So this is like the weirdest card for this one because it doesn't have like an immediate deck that you can think of, right? It has the film type, the 7 warlord type, and the Kuja pirate type, but none of those tags have ever been a yellow leader, which is really interesting. So that also makes me think like the 6th leader that we haven't been revealed might be like a yellow film leader of sorts to kind of get that, but we'll see that. That's just kind of like minor theory crafting. But on play, we could trash 1 card with trigger from your hand. Up to one of your opponent's rested leaders or characters other than Monkey D. Luffy cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. And also the trigger is K up to one of your opponent's characters with cost of 4 or less. So honestly, this is not a terrible card. Like just generically, like all the effects for it are fine. I don't know if it fits into the deck, like again, but it's what deck it really fits into quite yet. But you know, the fact that it's like instead of a Nami that you get rid of a 5 or less, this just gets to get rid of you know, stun anything. It's a 5/7 body, so it's a little bit better, and has like a KO of 4 or less, which is again not the same as Nami, which is 5 or less, but this could be like a minor upgrade to the Egghead Nami for, you know, a lot of people for their decks. And then lastly, Ace, which I'm excited about this card. I know a lot of people are as well. So it's a 5-drop 7k Ace, and then on play, if you have a face-up card, face-up life card, play up to 1 Sabo, Ace, or Monkey D. Luffy with a cost of 2 or less from your hand are trash rested. So this is support for the black and yellow Luffy, and this is honestly all that I wanted for the deck, right? I'm like, you know what? I don't care if they get rid of Moria. I feel like they just need to find a better way to like get their cycle loop for it. And I think this is a lot more fair, right? This is something where you can play Ace. Like, so you put 2 cards into your life. One of them is Ace. You play your 2-drop Ace to be able to bring back, you know, any of your other 2-drop boys, and you get the other one. So with this card, it's really easy now to set up a 9k leader with a Sabo blocker. It does mean that you can't like double Sabo blocker, and you don't have like a 5-drop 9k as well, but it does mean that you're only playing like 7 Dawn to be able to get like your 9k leader off of it, which means that you do have like this additional like 3 flex Dawn to use for something. So in general, I think this is like really, really cool. You know, it also means that I don't think you can you can't use this Ace if like it's your last one, but you can also just like play this out from your hand for 5 verbatim, and then like you can be like a 7k leader with 2. Like there's just a lot of different ways to be able to use this card and get kind of the value that you want from it. So I'm really excited that this card exists, and I really am looking forward to kind of re-exploring the black and yellow Luffy by, you know, having some recursion to make like your 9k leader defense like a little bit more viable. So there it is. All right, those are all the new cards from PRB, and then quickly let's look at the leaders from OP13. So you got the red and green Luffy, so Supernovas and Straw Hat. So another green Supernovas leader is nice, and this has like a really interesting effect. So Dawn ×1 on your opponent's attack. If you have 5 or less active Dawn in your field, you may rest any number of your active Dawn cards. Up to one of your leaders are Straw Hat crew type characters gain plus 2k power for each Dawn rested by this effect. So what this means is that like you can convert Dawn into 2k counters for until you run out of Dawn, which is really cool. And then obviously green has already been really flexible at getting Dawn back active, which is great. The fact that like we're a supernova leader, so even like best case, like you can just play Cavendish out, we get 2 Dawn back, we put on 1 on our leader to have a 6k swing, and then we get to use the effect to be an 8k on defense for one of the attacks kind of thing. So I think that's something that's really good for the deck. It is a 4 life leader instead, but you also get to use red and green cards, which, you know, we're also like red red and green like Straw Hat can just find so much stuff. And I think we can be really flexible with having like extra Dawn open at times too. So I'm really curious to see what this deck looks like, but it's a really cool generic effect and kind of like a mild upgrade to like the first like red green Luffy that we got from like set 1, right? Like that card was not like used very much, but as a Supernova Straw Hat type crew, and so having like a like spiritual successor to this deck, I think is cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it does. So next up, we've got the Ace, and I think this is like the one of the few decks that like everyone's like, oh man, this looks really cool. There have been like obviously a lot of people who like Ace. You don't have to convince me that a red and blue Whitebeard Pirates leader is going to be exciting, and this one's pretty unique in a lot of ways. So it's a 6K base leader. It's 3 life. And then on your opponent's attack, once per turn, you may trash 1 card from your hand. Give it to one of your opponent's leaders or characters minus 2K power during this battle. So being able to convert any of your cards into a 2K essentially is fantastic. There are just so many ways, like, even though we're just a 6K leader, it means that we can just be way greedier with it. But also, Dawn times 1 once per turn. When you receive damage, or your characters with 6K power or more is KO'd, you get to draw 1 card. So this immediately works really well with your Marco. If this card gets KO'd, you get to draw 3 cards, which is a lot of cards in this game. So you do have to have a Dawn attached to your Ace, but on 5 Dawn, playing this and then having a blocker, and then knowing that any time that they attack, they're going to have to be attacking 6K anyways because you're a 6K based leader, just means that you get some really good conversion for that as well. So I think that can be really strong. I know a lot of people are excited for this. Obviously, this also works with Star Deck 22, which we currently still don't have out here in North America, but I think that there could be some really cool blue Whitebeard pirate stuff just because this leader exists, and I'm really excited. Like, it's really easy to make this like an 8K leader by using a lot of like the Whitebeard stuff too. So I think that's really cool, and we've got that there. Next up, we got Goldie Roger, our first 7K base leader in this game, and it's a 5 life, right? So which was surprising to me. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, this is going to have like 2 life, or like this is going to have like some unique effect. And it really does have a unique effect. And let's kind of go over it. It's a little bit complicated, and this is my best understanding for it as well. If this changes, I'll have it updated on the website and I'll let you guys know. But if you have any Dawn on your field, give 1 Dawn, the card that would be added during your Dawn phase, to your leader. So that means that if you are at 8 Dawn and you're going to 10 Dawn, one of the 2 Dawn that you add for turn has to be attached to your leader. That's how that works. It's really bizarre. Like, I can't like think of a better way to concisely say it, so I can understand like confusion, and we'll see what the official English translation is once we get it too. But essentially it means that you don't get to play cards on curve when you're going up to 10 Dawn, because you'll always be 1 Dawn behind because it's going to be attached to your leader. Additionally, if you have 9 or less Dawn cards on your field, give this leader minus 2K power. So what that also means though, so let's say that we're at 10 Dawn outright, it means that we can just play out a 10 drop. Nothing has to be attached to our leader because of, nothing gets added from your Dawn deck to your Dawn area. So it means that you do have that straight 10. So that's how that works. It's a little peculiar on how it's worded, but I do just kind of want to make sure that people kind of understand that's how that works. So it means that you are kind of like you don't want to use any like defensive Dawn minuses, because like you then become a 5K leader again until the next turn, and then afterwards you have to go back up to 7. So I'm really curious like what's the best way to play this. There are just like a lot of generically good 10 drops that we can play in this. It also means that if you play a 10 drop that Dawn minus is like 1 or 2, you can't play another 10 drop next turn because one's going to be attached to Goldie Roger. But it's really interesting. I'm really not sure like the best way to play this, but like having a deck that one is 5 life and that's generically a 7K on defense is pretty good. But I do think like having like being 1 Dawn below curve is pretty rough in a lot of ways, but we also do have like a lot of ways to ramp with red and purple, as we've seen with a lot of other decks, and it's just really cool, right? It's worth talking about. I think there's either a chance like this card is just like bad or like the best card in the game, right? Like, it's such a duality from where we're standing right now, and I think it can be really good. So there it is. We also have got Sabo, so another red leader. So if you have 4 of my life cards, give this leader minus 1,000 power, and then Dawn times 1. If you have a character with cost of 8 or more, all your characters and leaders get plus 1,000 power. So that includes itself. So this is kind of like this is like a successor to like the red and black Sabo leader, right? It's the second one of those. But the fact that it's also a 5 life leader, you get that minus 1K power in both turns. But like once you're at 3 life, then you get to be a 5K leader again. Even if you have 4 cards in your life, you can use your Dawn times 1 If you have a character with 8 or more, all your characters get that boost. So that is really handy. There are some ways to get a character with 8 or more before your 8 on turn 2, which is fine. And I would kind of need to see like a little bit more support of it, but obviously like Dressrosa and Revolution Army has like a lot of red and black cards already. Not immediately like excited about this, but it's cool to see like looking at all these leaders, right? Like these are just like Luffy like is like generic, but like the Sabo, the Ace, the Goldie Roger, all of them kind of like break the mold for generic leaders or how this game works. So all of these are really exciting, and I'm excited to see like how these work. Right, nothing. Like we had like the red and purple kid that kind of had like the same multi-color like 5 life, or like there has to be like a effect like where your leader can't attack. But I'd be interested to see how these work. And lastly, we've got Bonnie. So your turn once returned, this effect can be activated when you play a character with trigger. Give it to 2 of your rested on to your leader or one of your characters. So obviously like this still works with like the Boa, right? Even though like this is just like a generically okay card in the deck, being able to play this card and then be a 7k attack with your Bonnie, I think is pretty good. Obviously this has the Egghead type, and having an Egghead type leader that has more than 2 life that can attack, that gets to use all of the Egghead effects as long as you have 2 or less life, I think is also really strong for this one. So I haven't really thought about all the synergies with this deck quite yet, but I know that there's a lot that exist already because there are so many effects that are just kind of locked behind only being able to be used in Vegapunk, and now we can kind of open it up a little bit with Bonnie. So I will say that having 5 life to start the game is a little bit of a hindrance, which is kind of weird because you kind of want to go down to 2 as quick as possible to be able to get your effects. But it also like isn't bad. So I'm curious to see like what the gameplay for this, if it's either just like try to get as many cards, like take all your life early and be aggressive with taking cards for your life so you get all these like life 2 life triggers or less. But I think the card is, I think this deck is going to be really interesting, and looking forward to the future support. So that is all that is there for the new cards. I know we kind of talked for like 30 minutes about it, but they're all really good cards, right? They're all like really kind of impactful. They're all really exciting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they impact the game in general. So kind of wrap it up, we'll just have our quick tier list. So this is opinion based. This is just my opinions. This will probably change. You can make fun of me, whatever. That's kind of my basic spiel. But these are the cards that I think could be hit. We've got kind of 3 tiers of likely 75%, 50-50, and then unlikely 25%. These are cards that I've been seeing people complain about. These are not cards that I strictly think in my own mind think that need campaigning. I think the only card that a lot of people have been talking about for a long time is Gum Gum Giant. The card is really good. I wouldn't be upset if the card got hit to 1 either. I think that could be a kind of good compromise for it. I also do know that specifically it's getting a reprint in PRB2 as well, like an alt art, like manga rare, not manga rare, but like the manga art style in the alt art. So likely it's going to be playable in some capacity, which is why I think limiting it to 1 is fine. It could maybe still be at 4. I just know that blue and purple Luffy is still really, really viable in Japan still. So if that's the case, I could also see some hits going to 1 Going Merry. I know like this has just been like a generically good stage. Bandai has not been afraid to ban stage cards earlier in this game either. So this might be just like a consistency hit for green purple Luffy, which is generally the most consistent deck that we have right now. Maybe not like the best deck, but just insanely consistent for what it does. Blue purple Luffy, if they just want to get rid of it, I would not be too surprised either. I don't know if I would be happy or sad if they banned the leader, but I don't like, it's to a point where like I understand that it kind of breaks the game, but it's not always like the most consistent, right? It would be kind of like the quote unquote, I think, lazier way to change the meta, right? But I don't know if it's the best way, but I could see it happen, I guess is the way. And then I know a lot of people have been saying Hody Jones. It has been like one of the stronger cards that have existed right now. I also think that there's a lot of cards that can replace kind of the more unique effects that it had of being able to rest on in green specifically. So I don't think it's a card that I'm like necessarily campaigning for right now either, but it is like a very solid card and probably one of the best finishers in the game. And I know that some people think that it's too powerful. I don't know really how I feel. I know like a lot of people have been talking about it. So and then unlikely, these are cards I don't think will be hit, but I've been seeing people talk about it. Linlin, I don't think like being able to heal in a non-yellow color is good, right? The fact that you get the like this is probably like one of the best cards for purple to ramp into because it has removal. And then also the fact that it lets you heal 1 is just very good, especially if you have a leader that's base K 6K or more. But I'm not sure if it's to a spot where I think it needs to get removed quite yet. I do think like maybe even like purple Katakuri and like yellow purple pudding, if they want to be more relevant with like the new support we got from the new pudding, they kind of also need this card around as well. So I don't know if it's going to get hit, but it is. I know a lot of people are mentioning it. I don't know if green purple Luffy needs to get banned, but I wouldn't be like super surprised. I don't think it's been like to the spot where it's like as bad as other leaders, and it's definitely not something that I'm campaigning. But I do know that some people are just done with this deck, so I want to mention it. 8-drop kid, I think like we're so close to like rotation. We're about like 6 months away or so, right? Like we're I guess like a little bit more. We're like 9 months away, likely, right? If it's going to be probably in the first half of 2025, we don't actually have it. It could literally be like it's whenever like what the set comes out, right? But I think that kid could be a card that gets removed. But I think they're like it's survived so long in this game that it should probably just stay around. And then I know a lot of people don't like Betty. I strictly do not like playing against Betty in this format. I think it's a little bit unfun, a little bit too fast, and just unsatisfying as a game. But I also think that it doesn't do really well into OP12 in the future. So this would be like maybe if they want to have like an OP11 hit, but I don't think it's going to happen. I would not be upset if these cards got hit, but we will see. But I think like, and also I think these are both these are rotation block 2 cards too, so they would stick around for the new Sabo leader, right? So if they think that's good, they can. But I think Karasu's just been generically if a deck can take advantage of it, like it gets pretty broken pretty quickly. So we'll see from there. These are my thoughts. These are my quick thoughts. We'll see if we get more information, if these change as we get closer to the restriction announcement, but here they are there. But again, this is going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Again, I do know that I'm not making as much One Piece content this month, but this was kind of known going in because there's not as much tournaments and stuff, and I will continue to support this game in the next couple weeks too, just as we get more and more. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and we'll catch you all next time.